So welcome to the fourth and final episode in this series chronicling my build of Minicraft's Titanic. In this episode I'll be installing the propellers, finishing off the rigging and cables, adding the decals and the nameplate. So let's get into it. So here are the propellers going on. And I used Humbrol 54 paint to paint the propellers. Here is the ship being glued onto its stand. I've covered the base in paper to protect it from any glue drop. Here are the aft and forward ratlines. They're photo etched pieces, and the two anchors. The little locating pins there go into the ship. There's one anchor and the other. Putting on the crane at the bow of the ship and the foremast. The ratlines, I put a piece of blue tack onto the front of the crane so that when I attached the cables to it they didn't slip off. Attaching cables from the bow to the foremast. Through to the first funnel. More cables that go from the side of the ship to the cable leading up to the foremast, attaching them with super glue. And when the sphere of glue had dried, I painted it black. Running more cables. I hold the cable taut, glue it with super glue, and then finish it with some accelerator. and there is the aft mast likewise. Now I ran out of microfilament, and so I used fishing line to complete the job. Worked well, although on reflection I would have used a darker shade of fishing line. I used a transparent one which doesn't show up that well. I'm now creating the 4 cables that run from the foremast to the aft mast. Technically it's called the Marconi array, and it's part of the ship's communication system. There they are. Notice that the cables are asymmetrically spaced. 1 and 2 are close together, and 3 and 4 are close together. And there is a larger gap between the 2. And the 4 cables all meet at that hole I've put in the cardboard. And I will glue them together with super glue. The hole means that the super glue won't stick to the cardboard. I trim the wires, leaving 1 wire at each end to attach to the mast. Now the actual cables sagged. But I found trying to do that on the model very difficult. The wires would twist together and would look quite ugly. So I made a decision to simply have them taut. Not quite historically accurate, but far more aesthetically pleasing. So I abandoned using a single wire attached to the masts and simply hooked the masts behind where the glue had joined them together. And now I am attaching the cables that run from the ship up to the 4 cables, finishing it with some accelerator and trimming. Now I am creating the cables that ran from the radio office on the ship to those cables. There's 4 of them joined together with a single cable coming out of the radio office. That is the point at which they come out of the radio office, so the cable is attached there. And it will join the overhead wires there. So I labelled them all 1, 2, 3, 4 just to keep tabs on them. This is the process in fast forward. There's the cable going up from the ship, and joining the overhead cables. Now I am cutting the flags. Again, I cut them out by having several passes rather than just cutting it once, which can lead to the flags being torn. And I cut slightly within the flag so that there is no white surround showing. This is the blue ensign, which was flown at the stern of the ship. Bend it over one way to get the crease in the right place, and then completing the fold the other way. So the flags I used are the blue ensign, the white star line flag, and the stars and stripes. I've included in the description to the video links to a number of very helpful YouTube videos about the Titanic, including one on its flags. And when I glue each flag together, I weave it through cocktail sticks so that when it dries, it looks like it's blowing in the wind. The blue ensign, the stars and stripes, the white star line flag. Here are the decals going on. This is a nameplate that I had engraved at a local key making kiosk. And there is the completed ship. The whole build took about 6 months of part-time work. So thank you very much for watching these videos. I hope you found them interesting and informative. Please like, subscribe, and check out some of my other model making videos. Goodbye.